What's going on, everybody? My name is Nick.
My name is Dave.
And this is the Deep Dive, and it's a special deep dive. It's our last deep dive of the year, Dave.
That's it. Last one of 25.
So this one will be releasing sometime here before the New Year's rollover. And
Possibly even on New Year's Eve.
Possibly on New Year's Eve. But we just want to say thank you guys for making it a great year here at the podcast. And for those of you that are part of the church, at the church as well. And Dave, what are we talking about today?
Today we are talking about on the fourth day of Christmas, God is with us still.
Okay. Well, I'm ready to get into this. Are you?
Yeah, sure. Let's do it.
Let's do it. All right, Dave. Well, we are deep in the throes of our fifth place battle in this fantasy football league. And based on the outcomes of today, we'll see probably who gets to move forward as the fifth place champion.
I think that's it.
Yeah.
I think it's over after that.
Well, I have one player on a Monday, but that's it.
Yeah.
So we'll see. It'll be fun. It's been a good time. We've enjoyed the fantasy football over the year, but it must come to an end, and we'll look to whatever the next sports cycle is for us.
Say we're right there, fifth and sixth place. One of us will be fifth and one will be sixth, right there in the middle of the pack.
Yep.
Not showing out.
Yep.
But not lagging behind either, kind of in the middle.
Look, with the injuries I've had this year, I'll take it. So, well, Dave, let's jump straight into this the fourth day of Christmas.
Okay, so this was the Sunday, the last Sunday of the year, and I feel like I'm totally worn out. I can hardly get through this. Yes, the last Sunday of the year. And so, it's not always the highest attendance Sunday, and yet the people that are there need a word. And so as I thought about it, on the heels of Christmas Eve, and we should say something about Christmas Eve.
Christmas Eve was awesome.
Christmas Eve was awesome. We had standing room only at the 5 o'clock service. I think they were 20 people literally standing in the back. So it was a beautiful time. But in that kind of the afterglow of that, we're kind of in this. We're definitely still in the season of Christmas. Yeah. Particularly on the church calendar. But it is this in-between time. I threw out the word liminal space. I love that word. It's one of the big words I know. Yeah. But liminal space, because we feel it so much in our life, is sort of this on the threshold of something, sort of this in-between time. And between Christmas and New Year's always feels like that, because there's so much energy going into Christmas. But then you have these like 5 days between New Year's where sometimes you're traveling. Usually you're not back at work. I know some people have to work, but but it's just sort of this in-between time,
But even in a lot of people's jobs, it kind of feels like it's a little bit of a slower time because you're kind of prepping for that next season. And even if you're working, a lot of your coworkers are probably out because they saved up their vacation for it. So I hear what you're saying.
But it's a lot of time, like if you're watching TV, on a lot of the morning shows and stuff, they're doing a summary, looking forward to back over the year. And, there's a lot of awards going out for the year. And, so people are kind of reviewing. We had a video this morning in worship reviewing our year. So you're kind of recollecting what happened in the year, but you're also about ready to get started and make plans in 26. Yeah. And I use the example, you get that new calendar, we're going to turn it over to January 1st. But if you look through the whole year, there's some dates that are marked up already, but we truly don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
Yeah,
you can make all the plans you want, but you still have to.
We'll have birthdays and anniversaries, and we'll have holidays and vacations and that sort of thing. But no matter how organized we are, there's still this space that we don't know about. Yeah, we don't know the future. And so, as I thought about it at the end of the year, in the midst of all the Christmas Eve and Christmas Day and all those kind of plannings, I was like, what am I going to preach on Sunday? And so I came up with this text, which when you first hear it, it might seem kind of an odd text for the day, but I feel like it worked. You'll have to tell me if it did or not.
I'll tell you off the podcast in the way. No, just joking.
But it's this text at the very end of Matthew's gospel where Jesus is given the Great Commission to the disciples. And I'm going to read it because it's just a couple of verses, and then we refer back to it, then we'll have it. But, the 11 disciples were there with Jesus on the mountain, and it says that when they saw him, they worshiped him, but some doubted. And we'll come back to that in a second. And then Jesus said to them, all authority in heaven and on earth has been given to me. Therefore, go and make disciples of all nations, baptizing them in the name of the Father and of the Son and of the Holy Spirit, and teaching them to obey everything I've commanded you. And surely, this is the key part, surely I am with you always to the very end of the age. And so that I am with you always in the afterglow of Christmas Eve, and the afterglow of thinking about Emmanuel, God with us, I think it's important for us to realize that God is with us still. Jesus, as he gives a great commission to these disciples, he is saying, I am with you always, even to the very end of the age. And so, that's news that we can carry into the new year.
Yeah.
The other part that stood out to me, and there's other parts you can unpack about it, but when they say that some worshiped but some doubted, because as we go into this New Year's, there are things we don't know about. We're not unsure. We don't have it all planned. Jesus, in fact, is saying, I am with you, not here's the plan.
Right.
And I think that's good news for us.
Yeah, I do too. And I like how you said it in service, and maybe this is something you if you're watching, go back and kind of look. You just said, like Emmanuel, God with us. We're not just worshiping the baby anymore. We kind of go from the baby to this risen God. And so we know the outcome of it, and we know that God is still with us and walking amongst us today, and where that's going to lead us, we're not fully sure, but we follow.
Right. And so I sort of built part of the conversation of the sermon around looking at, God with us yesterday, God with us today, and God with us tomorrow in the future. Because, as we look back over this year, there's a lot of things that we have to celebrate. But there were some difficult times. There were some hard times. We lost friends. Mm-hmm. We lost church members. We had some bad days around that. But sometimes as we look in the rearview mirror, we can more clearly, I think, be able to trace God's hand of how God was at work with that. Yep. And so God was with us and has been with us in the past. And so we take that with us even as we prepare for the future. Yep. And then God is with us today, wherever we are. And we don't have to have it all figured out.
Thank goodness.
I told the folks in the service, we'll be closer when people are hearing this to, New Year's Eve and all that. But you don't even have to have your New Year's resolutions yet. You're certainly not going to know your star word for Epiphany that we're going to get next Sunday. We don't know all that yet. But right here in the minute of where we are, God is with us today. And I think that's a promise that we can hold on to as well.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I think that's a beautiful thing to take into that new year, is just that reminder of that God's not going to leave us no matter where that year takes us, because there's something that we can be assured of, is that next year we'll have some highs, it will have some lows, it'll have some days that feel long and some days that feel short, and just knowing God's with us is a big deal.
Right, yeah. We're people that like to plan.
Yeah.
We plan here at the church, we plan as individuals, There's already things on the calendar.
Sure.
Even as we speak, there'll be some other things and some other goals that will be made there. But yet, what the plans that we're making today, we're not exactly sure how they're going to unfold tomorrow. But the promise that God is with us yesterday, today, and tomorrow, I think is something we can hold on to. God is with us still, and we're living in the still. So let me ask you this, Nick. What are you looking forward to next year? What are some big things that you've got on your calendar that you're anticipating?
Well, we were actually talking about this a little bit with the girls yesterday, is it will be Olivia's 16th birthday going in. That'll be the end of next year. So that's a little longer term forecast. And we're hoping that we can figure out a way to go down to Universal, because she's a big Harry Potter person and stuff like that, and kind of do some of that. I think, in the immediate, girls are in the middle of the volleyball. So we have about 2 or 3 months of volleyball, but I think personally, it's just continuing to try to be healthier and happier and healthier. Yeah. I said healthier twice, didn't I? But
healthier and healthier.
Healthier and healthier. Yeah. Just to kind of keep going on those tracks and, keep living a good life.
Enjoying the moments in the day.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was thinking about, this Sunday a year ago, I got the word, right about the time I got to the service, that my daughter was in labor and that my granddaughter was going to be born.
Oh yeah, we are almost there.
And so, we'll be celebrating her 1-year-old birthday yesterday. We actually had the party yesterday.
Yeah.
But just the amazing things of this past year with her. I mean, she's walking now, and yesterday at her party, she was in rare form. She was just enchanting everybody that was there, and it was a wonderful day. But just having those memories, looking back over this year, and just kind of anticipating what that will be in this coming year. And then, of course, I've got some trips planned, and we got some things here at the church that I'm excited about. So, sure. It's been a great year in 25, and it's gonna be a great year in 26, and.
So have you thought about any resolutions yet? I know you said we don't have to have one at this point, but have you kind of thought?
Well, you talked about health.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so this has been a year, particularly it's like 6 months, I've really paid attention to my health because I'm getting older. And I really would like to continue that because I am a person who can be very disciplined for short periods of time. Mm-hmm. And I would love to be as good as health as I am right now at this time next year. Yeah. And so just, being able to sustain that this year is one of the goals that I've made for myself.
Awesome.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, this is a quicker podcast. Yeah. It was a quicker service and all that stuff. We are just kind of getting that rest and rejuvenation before we jump into the new year fully and head first, and just kind of ready for what's coming. And as Dave said, we've got some exciting things already working at the church, but also, in our own lives. What is it that you are excited about? We can drop that in the comments section, but just take that time and reflect. Hopefully this is a little bit of a slower time for you, this liminal space, but don't take it for granted either, of just like, I'll just, binge watch everything I've missed or whatever. But find some time, find some space to reflect and kind of think of what has God done for you the last year, and what might God be calling you into in the next year. I think all those things are very important to consider at this time.
For sure. Yeah, and God bless everybody through the new year, and I hope wherever and whoever you are celebrating with, that it is a happy one. And we'll be with you in 2026, back with the podcast. Back in worship and all the activities here at Hickory Flat. So,
everything's starting back up soon, and I think the last thing I would say is go Dogs.
Oh yeah, go Dogs. Sure. That's Friday. All right. God bless everybody. We'll see you next time.
You guys take care. Bye-bye.